Mark Nepo, The Book of Awakening. Having the life you want by being present to the life you have. Life moves quickly, often pulling your attention outward toward roles to play, goals to chase, and problems to solve. But beneath that outward momentum is a quieter call to slow down, look inward, and begin living from a more honest place. Poet and spiritual teacher Mark Nepo has spent decades exploring that shift, reflecting on his life and experience. His reflections speak to what it means to be fully human, especially in moments when life feels uncertain, painful, or beautifully ordinary. These reflections offer a way to return what's already here, to your breath, your relationships, your quiet longings, and begin again from within, drawing on stories, memory, and spiritual traditions. Nepo shows how staying present through confusion and sorrow often reveals more than chasing clarity ever could. In this blink, you'll learn how to move gently through difficulty, how to stop performing for approval, and how to trust the quiet strength that comes from simply showing up. You'll explore the difference between striving and belonging, between solving and listening, and discover the most meaningful growth often begins when you stop trying to escape what's real. The rare power of being fully human. What does it mean to be human? You weren't born to function on autopilot. You're here with the ability to notice, to choose, to care, and to make meaning. That alone is rare. Recognizing it changes how you move through the world because it reminds you that being alive isn't a given, it's a chance. There's a story of a divinity student who was suddenly paralyzed by polio. At first, he could do nothing but lie still. But over time, he listened to something quieter than fear, a small urge to move. He began by shifting his shoulders in bed. Those small movements grew, and eventually, he recovered and became a pioneer of modern dance. This change wasn't just in his body, it was how fully he showed up inside it. Instead of observing life from the outside, he began living directly through sensation, effort, and breath. That's the kind of presence that wakes you up from the inside out. But being truly awake often means discomfort. You might find yourself agreeing to things that feel wrong, staying silent when you long to speak, or twisting yourself into shapes you think others will accept. Those are the moments when your aliveness gets traded for approval. You don't need to wait for permission to live honestly. You're here, and that's enough. So speak what's real, move the way you need to, and stop measuring yourself against people you're not. This is your one life. Let it be shaped by who you really are. The quiet power of slowing down. Picture yourself standing at the entrance to a beautiful garden after a long journey, only to find the gate locked. You panic, ready to turn back. But what if the wall is just a facade? What if you slow down, walk around, and find open space waiting beyond? More often than not, slowing down opens up what speed and urgency keep hidden. In daily life, the pressure to rush, fix, or achieve often keeps you from noticing what's actually present. When you feel overwhelmed, you might double down on effort or push for answers. But many thresholds, emotional, relational, even spiritual, only yield when approached more slowly. What looks like a block may dissolve if you stop insisting on your usual way in. You've most likely seen this idea in how people deal with discomfort. Often, we try to solve emotional pain like a puzzle rather than feel it. But pausing long enough to name your sadness or speak the truth of an old wound is what allows healing to begin. Even your breath can be a reminder, taking in, letting go, without rushing, without holding back. Slowness also gives your deeper self room to speak. Whether it's hesitation before a decision or urgency pulling you in all directions, slowing your pace helps you reconnect to what matters. The next time you feel stuck, try walking the wall instead of beating the door. You may find you were already inside. You just hadn't stopped to see it. Living fully through what hurts. You might remember a day when things felt especially heavy, grief bubbling up, anxiety sitting on your chest. And then, later, sharing a laugh with someone over something small and unexpected. That contrast can feel disorienting, but it's actually a sign of presence. Being alive doesn't mean feeling one thing at a time. It means making room for all of it without shutting down. There's no neat formula for how to do that. Some days it might feel like everything is slipping. You may want to pull back, disappear, or scramble to fix what's falling apart. But often, the most grounding thing you can do is stay exactly where you are. Let the feelings surface. Don't try to make them tidy, just let them be named. That simple act of acknowledgement often opens a kind of relief that fixing never does. Even when you're unsure what to do next, showing up matters. You don't need to know how everything will turn out in order to take the next small step. Some of the most honest moments in life happen when you stop pretending and speak the truth of what you feel without needing it to make sense. If you let go of trying to control every outcome, you'll begin to feel more connected to other people, to whatever's holding you up right now, and to the quiet knowledge that life is still moving right through the middle of your uncertainty. You don't have to be fearless to be real. You just have to stay. What you weave when you stay present. There's an old Ojibwe story about the world beginning to come apart. The creator, unable to hold it together alone, asked the creatures for help. A tiny worm stepped forward. Though it was mocked, it began spinning a thread, so fine no one could see it, yet strong enough to hold everything in place. That story offers a quiet challenge. What kind of thread are you spinning with your attention, your breath, your presence? The idea isn't to save the world in some grand way. It's to stay with your experience long enough that it becomes useful, not just to you, but to something larger. When you face pain, confusion, or even joy, there's a choice. You can pull away, or you can stay still and let that feeling move through you. If you do, it begins to shape something. Not immediately, but over time, it forms a kind of inner silk that connects your life to the lives around you. You don't need to make it meaningful right away. You don't need to name or fix it. You just need to live it. The worm was later wrapped in its own thread, and when it emerged, it had wings. That kind of change doesn't come from effort. It comes from surrender. If you're not sure where to start, try this. Sit beside someone you love and quietly match their breath. That simple rhythm is part of what holds the world together. You may not see the thread, but you're already part of it. letting go so something new can begin. Do you ever feel like you're holding on to a version of yourself that no longer fits? An old habit, a belief, or even a way of speaking that once felt natural, but now feels stiff? There's a point when continuing to wear that old skin becomes more painful than shedding it. This idea sits at the heart of learning how to grow. The difference between burying something and planting it is intention. One hides what hurts. The other lays it down so something new can rise. In practice, this means taking time to notice the parts of your life that feel outdated, ways of thinking or reacting that once helped you survive, but now keep you stuck. Like a skin that's outlived its purpose, these patterns often weigh us down quietly. There's real relief in choosing to let go. You're not erasing the past, you're allowing it to nourish what comes next. But the pain of change often lies in resisting this cycle. The more tightly you grip what no longer serves you, the more disconnected you feel from yourself, from others, from meaning. The surprising truth is that grief and renewal go hand in hand. Every fresh joy has an old struggle underneath it. So when you finally set aside a long-held version of yourself, you create space for something more honest to grow. A useful practice? Name what no longer fits. Write it down, thank it, then bury it. And be gentle with what might take root in its place. This is how life keeps unfolding. Step into what's already here. Picture a student sitting silently beside a stream, tasked by his teacher with listening to the water until he understood its teaching. Days pass. He listens with all his might, interpreting, analyzing, reaching. But then, a monkey bounds into the stream, slapping joy into the water, soaking itself in play. The student watches, stunned, and begins to weep. In that moment, he understands. The monkey heard, while he had only been listening. This story reveals a quiet turning point that you can use, from effort to presence. Like the student, we often strain to understand life by thinking harder, trying more, reaching upward. But sometimes the lesson isn't in the grasping. It's in the immersion. The moment we stop trying to figure it out, we begin to feel our way into truth. Stillness, then, is not passive. It's a form of deeper listening, of entering the stream rather than studying its surface. And real clarity doesn't come from rushing toward answers, but from letting ourselves be fully present to what is already here. So the next time you find yourself searching for direction, consider the monkey playing in the stream. Don't just observe life from the banks. Step in, let it soak you. Often, what you're looking for is already all around you, waiting for you to join it. Are you building or breaking? There's a quiet tension beneath every search for growth. Are you taking things apart or putting them together? We often learn in two ways. One is through experience, touching life directly, trying, failing, feeling. The other is through understanding, listening, watching, absorbing meaning. When these fall out of balance, we get stuck. Living only by experience, we repeat patterns without insight. Living only by thought, we grow cautious, removed from life's pulse. This tension shows up everywhere. In love, Do we seek to claim or to belong? In creativity, do we control or listen? In self-reflection, are we dissecting ourselves or bringing scattered parts into coherence? It's a pattern that reaches deep into history. Some lives are shaped like conquest, reaching outward to own. Others are shaped like integration, reaching inward to unify. The first divides, the second heals. Even how we carry our awareness matters. So often we move through life as if under a spotlight, performing for imagined eyes. But joy comes quietly, when no one is watching, when we stop rehearsing and simply live. So pause and reflect on something you're working toward, a relationship, a dream, a truth. Are you pulling it apart or helping it take shape? Are you trying to own it or belong to it? Are you removing wings or adding them? Asking these questions is where the shift begins. What we lose can teach us who we are. When a plate falls and shatters, we call it an accident. When a heart breaks, we call it tragedy. And when a dream collapses, we often call it failure. But what if none of those are quite true? Sometimes the things we cling to, goals, identities, long-held hopes, don't survive contact with the real weight of living. It can feel like something precious is being taken away. But just as earth softens to absorb what falls, we can learn to meet disappointment not with resistance, but with awareness. At some point, you may have chased a dream that shaped everything, only to find that it no longer fits. Maybe life pulled you in a new direction. Maybe the dream served its purpose and quietly passed on. This isn't failure. It's the natural gravity of growth. Still, loss leaves a mark. The key is not to deny the impact, but allow it to shape us more gently. Rather than rush past pain or try to fix the brokenness, we can learn from it. Often, it's the collision itself that reveals what truly matters. There's a quiet strength and presence in living what's real instead of performing what's ideal. Meaning comes not from clinging to one version of the future, but from listening to what your life is asking of you now. Let go of what you were supposed to be. Pay attention to what's asking to emerge. That's not the end of the story. It's how the next one begins. The main takeaway of this blink to the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo is that presence, honest, steady, and compassionate, forms the foundation of a meaningful life. The goal isn't to perfect or escape your experience, but to inhabit it fully, even when it's messy or unclear. Whether you're navigating loss, searching for clarity, or simply learning how to be more yourself, staying awake to what's real invites a quiet kind of wisdom. Through stillness, attention, and emotional honesty, you begin to shape a life grounded in true belonging. And the moments you choose to stay with rather than rush past become the ones that gently carry you forward. Okay, that's it for this blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating.